everyone, and welcome to Zest with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that will take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today, it's an absolute honor to welcome a truly unique and insightful guest, Shaiilesh Vekariya. Shaiilesh is a passionate graphologist, which I've never heard of, so I am super excited to explore all his wisdom and expertise today with you all. And he is also an emotional wellness consultant with years of experience in psychological assessment, personal growth consulting, and emotional healing through the fascinating lens of handwriting analysis. His work is grounded in a powerful belief that every stroke of handwriting tells a silent story. It's a mirror to the subconscious mind, offering deep insight into our personality, emotions, unresolved traumas, and untapped potential. Wow. Through his remarkable science, he has helped countless individuals transform their relationships, improve their mental well-being, this is very important, break harmful patterns, and rediscover their inner truth. His approach is a non-invasive yet deeply revealing blend of science and soul that beautifully complements the intention of this podcast to invite in presence, a little bit of vulnerability sometimes in order for us to really reveal things about ourselves, and of course healing in every conversation that we have in order to empower and uplift us in the most beautiful way. So I am so excited to hear from him today as we explore how something as simple as pen on paper can become a transformational, profound tool for self-discovery, awareness, and emotional transformation. Wow, it's an honor to welcome you today. I'm super excited. How are you?
Hi, Shel. I'm fine, and it's really glad, and I'm also excited to share the graphology insight to the audience of yours. And with the years of experience and the practice and research, I believe that your pen is really a magic pen. You can do any magic with the right use of your pen. Even you can transform your personality, you can transform your mental health, you can transform your physical health.
Wow.
You can transform your leadership skill, you can transfer your business, you can transfer your abundance, anything. Because in psychology, every one believe, and in particular India, we believe that whatever happened to us around the people, everything related to our mind. Everything is maximum things happen are psychosomatic, right?
Absolutely,
So
yes.
graphology, the science of graphology is a tool to understand the person's real psychology. In a modern language, I can say that we have a computer, right? If you want to perform that computer better, we need to decode its software, right? When we can decode, after that we can decode that software to make a better performance. Same way, if we know how to decode our subconscious mind, then after we can recode that subconscious mind in favor of us. So that we all doing. First, we do the decode of that subconscious mind of the person, and then we suggest some therapies, which called the graphotherapy, through the pen, just 5 to 10 minutes a day, and you can transform your life. You can achieve anything in your life.
Wow, I'm so happy you touched on that because, and it's not saying everyone, but just thinking about kind of the time we're moving into where everything is so digitalized. I love that you just because I was about to say even for myself sometimes not it's very different now because I'm very conscious and I actually really like getting my thoughts and feelings and emotions onto paper. But there was a time where I hadn't held a pen, I hadn't written for so long, and it's interesting that you analyze that because my handwriting did look very different. It was it is a creative process. So it does show, whether you're just kind of scribbling it on the paper or you're putting it in an artistic way, or from what I've seen from other people, it's almost like perfectly printed. And I always used to look at those people and be like, wow, the control, the precision. So even though I didn't know about this, there was still something that was within me that was intrigued as to how our handwriting is so different. So yeah, with that in mind, because I know you just said even 5 to 10 minutes, could you expand a little bit more on that, please?
Yeah, let me explain the basic science, how handwriting can read your mind.
Beautiful.
The moment you pick the pen, your brain cells would be active. The neurons in your brains would be active. They send a message to your hand, and with the help of the finger, that brain language interpreted on the paper, right? So this is the only activity when your brain cells are more than 80 to 90% are active. While when we are speaking, when we do anything else, our brain's neurons are hardly 20 to 30% active. But while you are writing something, so your brain, your soul, and your body need to be aligned. And that's why handwritings are brain writing for the graphologist. If we have a piece of paper and some handwriting, we can say many more things about the person, because this is the brain lipi, this is the brain writing for us.
Wow.
And that is how a mechanism works.
Wow, amazing. And just because I always, as well as the incredible work you're doing, I always love to, because I think it's so interesting the different routes we all kind of go down. So I would love to know a little bit more about the man behind the impact. And where did this come from? Where did it come from that you absolutely have dedicated so much of your life to this? I'd just be interested in where this started.
Okay. Have you ever gone to kindergarten where children are studying in the school?
Absolutely, yes.
Preschool?
I was an educator for over 12 years and predominantly in early years, so yeah.
So let's imagine the class where 20 to 30 or 40 students are studying. There is one teacher who is studying that students, right? And one book. Teacher is studying student language writing. Okay. From day one, they pick the pen. They learn to overwrite all alphabets. Many months they're practicing overwriting all alphabets. Getting? But the moment they leave overwriting and start self-writing, each and every student's handwriting would be different.
Yes.
One teacher, one book, months of overwriting. Why? After leaving overwriting, the same moment, every student in the room have a different handwriting, because we all have a different fingerprints, we all have a different DNA, we all have a subconscious mind programming. And that's why you can never find a single match of handwriting from the 750 billion people on this planet, right?
That's so true what you're saying, because I used to, even if they didn't put their name on their work, I knew who had written it. And actually, I'd love your take on this, not to go too much down the educational route, because I want to really focus on what you're doing. But when cursive writing got introduced, and all of a sudden there was this kind of packaging them all to be the same, and it has to be like this, and there was something in me, and obviously I was respectful to the school and the policy, but I was like, there's something in me that this feels very like you're failing if you don't do it the way we say. And I'm like, but we're all individuals. So I always felt this of like, why does it have to be? And it'd be like, no, you didn't quite start at the corner. And I was like, does it really matter? I don't know, that's why I'd love your take on it, because for me, I had to respect and honor that, but there was something in me that felt so like I was almost forced to to kind of carry out something that just didn't feel right inside. Because, okay, eventually, through quite often a lot of sometimes tears of the kids not feeling good enough, which was not a nice thing as well, they would all produce this kind of perfect cursive writing. But I'm like, but that's not life. That's actually not life. And I think even from a young age, I always felt this, like, in all areas of my life, including dancing, like, of like, does it matter if I do the step slightly wrong? I'm not in a competition. Like, we all have our own self-expression, and I think sometimes we're really try to be held in boxes, and like, in like what you do, if everybody churned out that exact same way and we're all programmed to be exactly the same, then this beautiful thing that you are talking about now, well, I'm sure it would have come out in secret, but like, it's just, there's some sort of like control sometimes. I think we just need to say, guys, is this really what we're focusing on right now? Does it really matter? Or does it matter that this child is picking up a pen and having a go? Sorry, that's a passionate, professional in me.
Let me tell you, anything matter when you're really willing to change or transform your lives. Otherwise, nothing matter to us and anybody else. Okay. In a graphology, we don't see a beautification of the handwriting. We don't see a perfect cursive writing. It is no meaning nowadays people consider a calligraphy writing is very beautiful, right? But it is the most complicated. If you follow calligraphy, your mind would be complicated and life will be disaster, I bet. So there is no need to be a beautiful handwriting, but there are some signs, some ingredients which need to be correct in your handwriting. And it is not necessary to correct all the alphabets. Just 4 to 5 alphabets you practice daily, and your total programming would be changed.
Wow.
There are. Let me explain.
No. Yeah, carry on.
We born with our mother and our father's contentment, right? When they become together and we born, a human being born. So we carry 2 energies throughout the life. One is a feminine energy from the mother, and the other is the male energy, masculine energy from the father. So we must have a balance of that both energy, feminine energy and the masculine energy. So if
can I just expand on that a little bit? Because I noticed you said the mother feminine and the father masculine. Like, there's something in me that, like, I feel like it's not a gender, it's an energy. So I would just love your take on that, because I actually think there's some ladies that are, they have quite a lot more masculine energy than, and the dad, not saying he's feminine, but like, he's very soft, and the mum is, but I agree that there always seems to be, in pretty much, there's not often a relationship where you have the same energy. Usually there's a polarity where we complement each other. But yeah, I really like that you brought that up. Thank you.
So in a graphology, we can identify the imbalance of the both energy. And there are many things which happen through the lack of that energy. If you are lacking of masculine energy, if you are not getting a proper contentment in childhood from your father, then for the entire life you are facing the problem which need a masculine energy, like your logical and intellectual level, your logics, your mathematics, your career, your finance. This all will be effect if your fatherly energy is not proper. Same way in a earlier prior of the childhood, like 0 to 7 years, the most crucial period for the every human being. And if you are not getting a proper unconditional love, care, nurturing from your mother, then you will be find a problem throughout the life. Emotions, a love, a relationship, you will never be happy. So if you want to balance everything, you need to first balance these 2 energy. You must have a feminine energy in a right proportion, you must have a masculine energy in a right proportion.
Absolutely.
As a graphologist, I can identify that balance or imbalance of energy in a person through the handwriting he or she gives us. And then we give a therapy to maintain, to balance that energy. And by balancing that energy, their life or a particular problem will be solved easily with just the use of the pen.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with what you're saying, because this was something that I actually, through most of my life, didn't know, and recently felt. And it was not saying I was, and the reason why, sorry, that's why I brought up about the masculine and feminine energy, because externally I felt like I looked very feminine, but I am, and it's no fault of the way I was brought up. I was brought up quite a lot of it with a single mum who had a lot of it would be very wild, feral children if she didn't, kind of keep us in line, the typical situation. And then, there's a certain degree of like financial coming in as well, and she's doing the best she can with as kids. And so there was a lot of things that I didn't know you could say have help for or support for or pay for. So I was very much like learning skills, like not knowing that someone could help me with that, and kind of getting things done, and very like like a very masculine energy, and like not letting anyone help me. And then I learned that I had to soften, and I had to balance, not see that as a negative, but I had to balance the two. Because even when I used to go to the gym, I remember my friend would be like, there would be the females, and it's not, and this is where it hit home. It's not that they couldn't, it's that they chose not to. So they're there with their, their 5 kg, and, doing, kind of getting on with it. And he would be giving me the same as the men because I could do it. But then I noticed like my body and even my energy was very like, and I had to, I didn't have to, but I was like, okay, I need to balance this, because I could do the same as what the guys were doing, and I'm, half the size. So I went and started like doing dancing to balance it out. So it's really interesting that you bring up all of that, because yeah, so from external, which is interesting that you even say about the handwriting, about it's not about how it looks, it's the energy. And yeah, I think that was something I definitely had to learn to balance. So I think everything all
See
comes around in life.
how energy works. Let me talk about it. The children raised by the single mother would lack of masculine energy, would lack of logical energy or decision making, and the finance and the unhappiness in career. Same way, the children raised by the single father will be lack of the emotional energy, a love, relationships, and all. So, a nature made an arrangement that children must have to live with the father and the mother. Right? If there is an issue between mother and father, and they have to depart, they have to stay alone. So never keep away or stop your children to meet his father or his or her mother. It is okay. Husband and wife are not okay to stay together, live. There is no matter. But for the betterment of your child, for the future of your child, don't stop to meet our child to his father or mother, because he or she need both energy equally.
Great, yeah.
One another thing, science, nature's rule, the whatever in a female, whatever the image of his father, she will get the same characteristic in husband.
Oh, I've gone through this. Yep. Yes, this definitely was like, interesting. This person looks different, but the energy I didn't realize at the time.
Right.
Pretty much the same, but they look different. So I hear you on this one.
And same, whatever image of mother in any male, he get the same wife with the same characteristics, and that's why always being entanglement with the father-in-law or the mother-in-law. That's the sign. So if you know the art, so if you know the art of acceptance and art of the balancing the energy.
Yes.
You can come out of any problem easily. See, any science, any remedies, any medicine don't guarantee to not no problem will come in your life. This is life. Problem will come. Problem will come. We need to accept this truth. But if we have energy, if we have a tool to fight, then we can come out with a great learning in any problem, and that's matter.
Yeah. And I think with what you say, I think it's really important. Like, it's okay for me to say it now. Like, when I was going through it, there was definitely a different process. As we all know, it's definitely not like, oh, namaste, you know. But I think also, once you're in a certain consciousness and acceptance, I think the reframing of it, of actually like, this is for the better good of me. This is to up level me, you know. I think that's really important as well, to see that, you know, life is opening doors for us, and if we're not growing, if we're not recognizing these patterns, then we're not evolving, we're not up leveling, we're not gaining more wisdom, more understanding of different people, because it's not about changing anyone. But sorry, I feel like we've gone a little bit off topic, so I want to go back to graphology. So with that in mind, and I'm sure it's a lot more complex than this, but just as like, it's just my kind of childlike wonder, I guess. When you have a client, and so can you ask for the handwriting straight away, or is there a much deeper, I know there definitely is a much deeper process, but I mean, like, in you receiving that handwriting and just scanning it initially, can you immediately see so much about that person?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can see it.
Like, I didn't want to make an assumption. I really wanted to just really like ask, because I know that everything isn't as like black and white, you know, in life. I know that there's a process.
By the grace of God, there is no software till date to analyze the graphology. So it is a purely own research, own learning, and the own analysis skill. Whenever some person come to us to discuss for any problem, any health issues, any relationship issues, so then directly I ask them for handwriting.
Wow.
I give them the piece of paper and ask them to write down 2-3 lines and a signature below. And then I clearly said them, this is the problem. You need to overcome from this thought process.
Wow.
Let me tell you, everything happens in your life. It is because of your thought process. Anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Subconscious mind, thank you.
Anything started in your outer life, it begins, its birth through the roots are in the thought process.
Yes.
So I always say change your thoughts and change your life.
Absolutely.
Okay. But we don't have a control, we don't have a tool to change our thoughts.
Thank you. Because this is a big thing, just to add in there, this was a big thing I noticed, because I'm listening to this motivational speaker, reading this book, and I'm like, oh, you know, your thoughts become your reality, and I'm like, really, really working on it. But like what you say, and I'd love you to expand on this, there's something that I didn't know, but I now know about the subconscious mind, which, when we really strip it back, is that loving mother that wants to keep us safe, but it's not always helpful. So please continue.
So, and graphotherapy is a power to change your thought process through the pen.
Wow.
When if you have a paper or pen, we can experiment, right?
Well, I was just about to say, could you give like a practical tool or something that someone could do today, that just to explore this beautiful, not concept, but beautiful skill that you know all about?
In a graphology, every alphabet are allotted to the different parts of your body, different parts of your organ, different process of your emotions, your thought process. Each and every alphabet says many things about your life, about your thought process, about your disease. If any disease will come in future, as a graphologist, we can say in advance that you are prone to blood pressure, you're prone to heart disease, you're prone to thyroid, you're prone to diabetic,
So
anything.
someone's coming in to get their handwriting done, and then they come out like, "Oh, thanks."
And the magic of graphotherapy is you can stop with the help of this pen only.
Wow, thank you, because we want to be
This
solution focused and not
without
like.
without medicine you can stop that disease come to in your life.
Wow.
Because in a handwriting we identify the thought process, right? And what that thought process will impact in your life, that we can analyze. So if we can stop that thought process, that root, we can change our future.
Wow.
And your pen has the power to change all the root of your thoughts.
Wow.
One second.
Carry on. No, carry on.
Let me explain how thoughts works. Right? Whenever we think something, we start speaking that things.
Yes.
Agree?
Yes.
Right? And what we start speaking, we are starting working on this action. We are taking action. What we are speaking is based on what our thinking. Okay. And what we are doing, what we are taking action daily will become our habits, right? And what is our habits? What are our habits? Form our characters.
Yeah.
Getting? And what our characters is, you can easily write down on your paper. So your writing are the thought process for me. If I get in your writing, I have your character, your life, your health, everything is on the paper. I just need a 1.5 page and your signature, then your brain scanning is there.
Wow. Yeah, that's phenomenal. And I understand like on a much deeper level all that you're talking about, because, and I'd love to know your take on this, because often when you're going through that process, it is what you believe, I've come to realize, is a reflection of your reality. So there is work that needs to be done to change that. So in that sense of like what you're doing, is that why you ask for a signature? Because that person is almost giving consent that they are open to this experience and that they are trusting that this is going to change their life? Because I think there's speaking with you and knowing all that you know, but then there has to be an element of believing that it's true.
Exactly.
So I would thank you for clarifying that, because I think, you know, like even if I said, if you take this today, this is going to change your life, is it called the placebo or something effect? I can't remember what the exact word is, but there has to be an element of trust, of openness, and of believing in the path you are going down. So I'm sure that when people connect with you, that is because 1, they are definitely intrigued, 2, they're curious and they want to change their life. So I think you have to, I think that's why, like, particularly in all the creative things we do and your incredible work that you're doing, I would love your take on this. I don't think it's something that you put onto someone. It's something that people are intrigued to investigate further, because if we kind of say someone comes across this episode now, I believe there's a reason why they're listening to this now, and if it sparks something in them, that's why they want to connect with you. Whereas if now we said, right, now, you know, do this and this, and they're kind of doing it in a sense of like, really? Then it's not nothing to do with your skill, it's to do with their mind. And that if they're kind of finding evidence of like, I don't think that's going to work, well, that's the kind of mindset they're coming to it with. So I think it's very much, it has to be a kind of exchange and a belief in your incredible skill and what you are offering, and knowing that this is going to change my life. And I think that's really important. And that's why I think it's so important that we don't kind of we allow people to do their process at their pace and not be the preacher and be like, you need to do this because this is what worked for me, because we're all very different. So yeah, I'd love your take on that.
Tell me about any common health issues you know in the UK or world or day-to-day life.
In
Common
the UK?
health issues, like whatever, a normal or a common health issues you know about, and that one health issue we can discuss on it. What energy is responsible for that health issues or a disease, and how we can correct it.
So I can't speak for the UK because I actually haven't lived there for a long time, but also obviously everyone's very different in the UK. But I can be open and vulnerable and honest with something with me. So I would love your take on that if that's what you'd like to do.
Okay, it's a good thing that you are very transparent to discuss in this platform.
Course, yeah.
I really appreciate and I'm glad. Thank you. Please.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. You know, sometimes we have to be the one in order for other people to feel that way too. So something with me that I didn't know for most of my life and now I'm understanding is, and it's actually, I feel like it's potentially generational, is basically with our stomach. So I came to realize that I can't have dairy, and now I've realized I can't have gluten either. And I would love your take on this because I loved dairy so much, and now when I think about it, and I'm not saying like a parasite, but it was really interesting that the one thing my body was really like.
Okay.
Yes, carry on.
Let me conclude. You have health issues related to your stomach, right?
So yeah, I don't really see, but yeah, basically if I have dairy,
basic in overlooking, we are overlooking. So you must need to maintain a balance, a relationship with your father.
I've heard about and gluten.
There is a different there is a difference of opinion with your father, with the male figures, and that's why the stomach is affected. There is no need to take any medicine. Just call your father.
I don't take medicine. No.
Never take.
No, I don't. That's just energy. My own thing. That's not dictating to anyone else. But I'm very holistic in my body. Yeah.
If you want to make a healthy relationship with your father, with male figures around you, male friends, male subordinates, your clients, your vendors, whenever. So remove the irritation with the males. Getting
irritation with them, they're irritating me. Sorry.
So and start this thing by calling your father, by meeting your father, forgive him in all the way.
Yes.
Accept him as he is, unconditionally accept him.
Yes,
then you will see the gradual update of your stomach. Then you can eat a dairy. There is no need to stop any food. Just correct your thought process, and your any issues regarding the health will be diminishes. Okay. This is the platform that why I am sharing. But if there is a person he is not willing to make a healthy relationship with father or mother, then we give an alphabet to correct. Do this practice.
Back to school.
This is the pill. We cannot say directly that you have a difference of hope in your father, because everybody cannot accept the truth.
I was about to say, just to add on to that, so I think it's really, and I 100% agree with what you're saying, but I think we have to also be open-minded to different people in this world. And obviously there are people, there's different circumstances. So there's people that unfortunately don't have their parents maybe even here right now. So I think kind of saying that, and then it's kind of like, oh, what do I do? And I think there's the other side of we all have our own free will. So often, sometimes it isn't actually the person at hand. Sometimes it has to be a fair exchange. I think going to what you said, I think forgiveness 100% is something that is very healing. And I think it's easy to say pick up the phone, but we have to also respect and honor the other person. And I think in an ideal world, I think it's nice to think that, you know, everyone can forgive everyone. But when we are kind of expanding our own consciousness and being open to things, I think we have to also appreciate that other people are not always on that same journey, and holding a lot more inside of them. And I wouldn't want people to listen to this and think like, oh, well, I don't have the opportunity to do that, so what happens with me? Shall I just have health issues the rest of my life? I think I would love your take on this. I think it doesn't always mean actual physically with the person. You can forgive someone and you can send love to someone without actually having to initiate all the time. You can do it from your heart. What would your take be on that?
Yeah. So there are many people come to us, and sometimes they cannot accept the truth, and sometimes they come to consulting with another people, with his friend and all. Then I have to ask, are you comfortable to discuss your analysis with anyone else? Then first attempt they say yes, no matter. But when the analysis going through, they are being uncomfortable, and then they say that we can discuss this later.
Of course, yeah, it's very personal, you know. But I think
first I ask them. First I always ask them. It is a personal, so please come alone. First discuss with me, and then if you're comfortable, then share your analysis.
Beautiful, yeah, it's
because your handwriting is your brain writing for me, so I will honestly analyze each and everything for you.
Amazing. So yeah, is there anything else were you about to add something else to that?
No.
Oh, sorry. I thought I had to.
Well, you can ask anything particular. I'm there.
So I was just going to say, one thing that I like to ask my guests is, just off the top of your head right now, if there was something that you would advise someone listening right now, like even if it's a message or an action or something that they could implement, because I think it's really important that we think of a solution focus. So something they could implement in their life right now, just off the top of your head, what would you tell them?
If later everyday motivation, everyday feel positive, start writing every morning, whether it was a one sentence, 2 lines or 3 lines, it is enough. Whenever you write, leave a little bit of left margin. Don't write on the left side. Leave some space from the left and from the upper margin, because when you're writing to the extremely left, you are stuck in your past. So any person who cannot come out from the past, writing from the extreme left side of the paper. Okay.
And do you mean that, because I'm just imagining an actual book, do you mean literally like right in the corner? Because obviously some styles actually have it to tell you where to write anyway. So are you meaning it on like a free flow piece of paper, not on like, again, on lines and having to do everything perfectly? So do you mean it in like to just write and allow it to unfold?
Take a white paper without lining.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Right.
Because otherwise people could be like, oh, well, I'm not. And it's like, well, no, if you're following this guideline, you're not actually...
Lines are pre-driven. You are not free. You are driven.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that.
So always take a plain paper. Left half an inch left side margin, leave. Then start writing and start little bit upwards. Little bits upward, and you will feel a positivity.
Okay. So you write upwards, did you say?
Yeah, okay. Upwards. Now you can experiment. You can think negative and try to write upward. You never.
I would just something that I do, because I'm a very creative person. I just would love, just off the top of my head now, because you're saying about all this, I'm going to tell you something that I do, and I would love your take on it. I actually write in a spiral. So I actually turn the pages I write. I make it like a visually. Not that I'm focusing on the handwriting.
Can I see your handwriting on this paper, on the screen?
Well, I haven't got any to hand right now, but it's very artistic. Like some could say messy, but I
Okay.
don't do full stops. I do hearts for the full stop as well.
Okay.
And
So
the dot of the
let
I.
I understand. You are a very art-loving person. You
Yeah.
love music. You love nature.
Yeah.
You sometimes make a thing complicated also. But with the art of creativity, you make a nice synchronization between complicated and put out the nice output. But yes, you most of the time you feeling confused. Decision making tendency is a little bit slow. You cannot choose things wisely or instantly. You gather lots of detail or lots of information before taking a decision. All the time your mind is running thoughts. You have very rapid thoughts, and so that is difficult to work on a single thought.
Yeah, to ground it. Yeah, I like even now I have multiple projects undergo. Like people look on the surface level of what I'm doing, they've got no idea. It's like the iceberg thing of like you see the tip and there's so much going on, like as you say, like in the background.
Let us discuss about some health related problems and all. If anybody thinks that his or her parents are not responsible, they are getting a shoulder pain. In a detail, if
just so we because I understand what you mean, but just for people that don't always talk in chakras, and could you just explain that in a way that people would understand what that means, the solar plex?
Let me think. We are most of the time have a complaint about our parents, our mother, our father. Okay, so continuously we cannot take this thought away that my father is not responsible for my mother is not responsible for the family. Then definitely in age, elder age or earlier age, you will getting the shoulder pain, and no medicine will remove that pain, because it was the psychosomatic. Your thoughts has given that pain, that impact on your body. So if you remove that, or if you are not want to invite that sort of pain, you have to remove that thought regarding your parents are not responsible to the family or to each other. For that we have a therapy, but I want to give away something, a take away to your audience.
Yes.
If at least they can improve their life by the listening this podcast. I always thought anyone investing their time with us, they must have something to take home and make their life better. Because my mission, my reason to wake up every day is transforming lives.
Yes.
Through the graphology, through my words, to my suggestions, to my actions, anything.
Beautiful.
Even they can improve 5 minutes in a day. I'm happy that I had given my time to that person.
Yeah.
Because our sole purpose is to be happy and make others happy, right?
Absolutely.
So this is one thing. If someone have arthritis, right? So then we never thought why the maximum people are getting arthritis in older age. Why? Because they think there is an impression in their subconscious mind that my father is stubborn. My father has an ego. I cannot tolerate with this attitude of my father. And continuously that thought process create hormones, a chemical, acid that will directly affect in your knees. And later we need later we need to transplant our knees, right? Why? If we can transform our thought process, there is no need to transplant any organ and anything in your body.
I'd love your take on this, because I know it's always much more complex and deeper than the actual thing at hand, but I wouldn't say I was like had arthritis, but I would say like I was noticing that when I was particularly in the UK, my joints were really clicking, and like what you're saying, I could sense something. But then I also noticed that when I moved to a really hot climate, I just happened to move to the Middle East, it all cleared up. I didn't have
What?
this issue anymore.
Pardon?
Um, so basically, when I noticed I was in the UK, I was very clicky and my joints felt quite weak. And like it doesn't help that I was always feeling cold as well. Whereas when I moved to the Middle East and it was permanently hot, I actually noticed that it all cleared up. So I'm not saying necessarily it's the weather, but it's just really interesting you're saying all this. It's just making me reflect on it of like, because obviously predominantly my parents are in the UK and I was in the Middle East, and it's just like, I'm just intrigued by what you've just said,
Okay.
basically.
When you change your location, when you
Mm.
go away from some people, so eventually you are also go away from that thought process for a limited time. Okay. So that energy is not carrying with you all the time.
Mm.
When you are busy in something else, when your soul, you put your soul in something else, then you are lacking something else. You cannot do everything at a moment, right? So when you come back to that place, that energy will again start to reflect on you. But staying away is not an option. Okay, so don't take it that if you want to keep that energy, negative energy, then you must stay away from that people.
No, it wasn't staying away. I had an opportunity. I think we also need to live our life. We have places that we want to visit, places we want to live. Like I'm very much someone who loves living in the hot country. I wouldn't see it as running away. It was an opportunity that entered my life and I just noticed yeah, I just seem to really body, mind, and soul really thrive in that particular climate in that country, even though technically what I was doing was very more high pressurized, but I loved it.
Right. Now you
Yeah.
can ask anything regarding graphology, any something particular topic, how graphology can help in any particular problem of the life, health, mental health. If you have any question,
Mm.
that we can go on it. Or
Yeah, so
else,
well, basically, because I think it's really important. People have listened to what you've said, and I think um, how can they reach you? What's the best way? Like, what is it that you offer that people could get in contact with you, if they're interested to explore this further?
okay. Can you repeat this, please? Last sentence.
So obviously, with you being here and sharing all your incredible wisdom and knowledge and expertise, for someone listening, what would be your approach of how they could find out more about all that you're doing? What steps would you recommend them to take?
Okay. In our services in graphology, we do a personal consulting. In a personal consulting, we are talking about the finance, to the physical health, to the mental health, to the relationships management, how to raise your children through the graphotherapy. Even we can transform our children through the right use of pen, right? We also analyze the partnership. If you want to be a partner or a business connection with someone, then we have in India, we give a service and analyzing a particular report that whether you should be go with that person or not. What are
Wow.
his or her tendencies regarding leadership, or regarding emergencies, regarding money management, regarding teamwork, all the professional tendencies we can analyze through the handwriting.
Wow.
Even also we had analyzed a few people for the marriage counseling. They both
I
are
was just about to say, people come to you and that is a big responsibility. Like, so I've
yeah.
met this guy, and then you look at the handwriting, and I think, wow, that is incredible.
And then in a business houses, we help them to recruit the right people to the right post.
Amazing.
We can if you have a staff, currently you have a people employees, then we can give those employee to the graphotherapy to align their brain, their soul and body to the work. We also guide them to the work allotment, what work should be allotted to the whom through the graphology. Through the handwriting, we can know the core competence of the person, the positive traits and negative traits. If we can identify both of the traits of the person, then we can guide and we can take the maximum output or productivity from that person. So
Amazing.
then come to the logo. It's a very important thing. Every business house has a logo. So through the logo analysis, I can tell what's actually going on, their business, their balance sheet, their production, their expenses, their loans, anything. If there are legal issues, I can identify through the logo. And if even in a logo, we can see that if any medical issues are increasing in his family, we can see that element in his logo also.
Wow.
So we do logo.
Yeah, I'm just
we do
imagining
logo analysis and consulting.
Wow. I'm
I have a
imagining you
client
in
in
your
UK.
mind and all that you know, like just navigating around the world and seeing all these logos, and then someone, woo, handwriting, and it's like you just have this like. I'm sure that you are very professional and you know how to kind of switch so that it's personal and professional, but I can imagine your brain is always like, that's an interesting logo. Oh, that's an interesting piece of writing. It has been an absolute pleasure. I'm sure so many people will find so much insight into all that you've shared, and I appreciate your time so much today. And thank you for showing up and saying yes, and definitely expanding my mind to something new. I love learning about new things, and I'm very, very intrigued by all that you're doing. Sounds incredible, and I'm sure you are absolutely changing so many lives. So thank you so much.
Okay, Shel, thank you very much. It was really a clear and excited moments for me to share my graphologist insight, but I feel it's very less time to the vast subject.
Yeah.
Hope we may connected in the future.
Absolutely.
And I believe that I had fulfilled and satisfied your vision and mission to this podcast. And from my side, I believe that I did not disappoint you.
Absolutely not. No, no. Always enhance. This is the whole essence of Zest Zen. It's like I want so many people from so many different walks of lives, and ultimately, as much as the incredible person behind what you're doing, my main mission is that the message is we are all different. We all walk our paths in very different ways, but you know what? We all come from a place of love, transformation, expansion, and impact. Regardless of what someone thinks or someone doesn't think, it doesn't actually matter. It's irrelevant. I know the right people at the right time will connect with the right people, and that's my mission, is that there's this person that offers this, and just be inquisitive, be curious. You never know how much it will change your life. So I appreciate you sharing all that so much. Thank you. And I'm sure we will reconnect again, and you will give us even more depth, and maybe next time I could be more prepared and be vulnerable and show a visual example that maybe we could see a live reading. That would be incredible.
Okay. I wish someday we can organize one signature analysis program. I like to teach your audience.
Amazing.
So let's set the time whenever you can.
Yeah. Super. Perfect. See? We start here and it expands to here.
Yeah. Okay. So we can do this. I will design a particular program for 1.5 hours for the audience.
Amazing.
At least we can share our basics of how your signature work. What is the mechanism? What is the psychology of signature? How signature affect in your life, in your health, and how can you improve the first step of using the signature in the right way. And
Amazing.
This is my give to your
Thank
audience,
you
and we can move
so
forward.
much. And all his details to all the viewers, all his details will be in the show notes. So please get in touch with him and watch this space for this incredible offering that he's going to bring. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time today, and
thank you very much.
Take care.
Be in touch. Let's be connected.
Yes.
Thank you.